Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This is going to be the finale of episode 4 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. We're going to see through this case to the end today, so hold on to your hat. Unless you're wearing more than one hat, then hold on to your hats. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. We're trying to prove Edgeworth innocent from the DL6 incident, because he just confessed to have killed his father 15 years ago. And we're here to prove that Edgeworth is in fact innocent, despite what you think. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. That's it, that's all. I'll leave it up to you. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream. We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Ah, the same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. I'll get honor, Your Honor. Hold it. What was the trial your father was involved in on that day? I don't remember things very clearly, only 2 things. I know my father lost, and Mr. Von Karma was the prosecuting attorney. That's all I know. Von Karma, you were handling that case? It was 15 years ago, I don't remember the details. That was when Edgeworth pointed out the problem in Von Karma's evidence. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. So there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator? Yes, myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi. We were fine at first, but then as time passed and no one came to help, my father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. What did you do then? I was a 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling in the corner. But then, something heavy fell at my feet. What was it? A pistol. I assume it was the bailiff Yanni Yogi's pistol. Safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. When you picked it up, what happened next? I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick, I panicked. So you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze. For days. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. The gun fired once? Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot and that horrible scream. The scream. It was a terrible scream, I remember it to this day. To this day. Yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I'll ever forget that scream as long as I live. There it is. One part of that testimony clearly contradicts the evidence, that's true. If I don't know what it means, I better find out and quick. Okay, so the conflicting evidence is... this. Isn't it? Let's check here. I thought it said something about... Yeah, 1 bullet found the heart. The murder weapon was fired twice. Edgeworth just said it was fired once. It was clearly 2 shots, according to this case file. Objection! Are you sure you only heard 1 gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. No, Your Honor, unfortunately, you don't. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which part contradicts Miles Edgeworth's testimony? Victim data, isn't it? Look at the victim data in this file. I never look at it, but I assume that it's page by page. It says quite plainly the murder weapon was fired twice. I love how it's a 3-page document. He says it like it's a 500-page document. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So who fired the remaining shot? That's a good question. Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There's no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we've heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof the other shot fired had something to do with the case? Yes. Your Honor, I think I'll be able to show you proof. What? Impossible. Now, Mr. Von Karma. Save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us your proof. Do you have any evidence the second firing of the pistol is related to this incident? I want to say it's like the DL6 bullet. Let's just look at this again. One bullet found the murder was fired twice. I mean, unless I don't actually have evidence. Do that. Mr. Wright, please think how we feel having to look at this evidence time and time again. Every time you show us ridiculous evidence, I feel mocked. I mean, I didn't mean any harm by it, Your Honor. Try again, Mr. Wright. Okay, there must be something to... Do I have evidence? Can I back out? Well, it's not letting me, so... How about this one? Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime. 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. So let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired? Where? Your Honor, please get a clue. Show the judge the contradiction in the photo. You mean... you mean this? As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see a bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet there's also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright. But who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. What do you have to say about that, Karma? I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. Case summary. That's on page 1. Look what's written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. The pistol had indeed been fired 2 times. Then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. he does have a point. Second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claims Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That's the truth of this matter. The whole truth. There's undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door. Not a bullet, you're trying to say? I will have order. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly, that the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely the police merely overlooked the second bullet. So all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. What? Looks like I was wrong. Nick? If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought the 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Well, it seems we have finally cleared up this incident right here. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I don't. So you killed your father, though that was not your intention? Yes, I did. Oh no, he's accepted the guilt. Very well. Statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. Just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying. But my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words. Mr. Wright? I have an objection. Your Honor. I object. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object, I don't know, his case is perfect. Oh no. It must exist. The second bullet. Maya, I saw you. For but a moment. What'd you just say? Nothing. The second bullet must exist. But where? Someone took it. Seems waiting is not going to produce any answers for Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor. Second bullet, it, existed. What? But we just heard proof it did not exist. I realize that, Your Honor. It's just... someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer. The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullet? But why? Huh? First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? The murderer had to find it. Of course there was a need. That's why they took it. What possible reason could they have had? Well, the reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with them is... well, the bullet would be proof. Maybe they thought the bullet would be used as proof. Proof? It was a special bullet, so they took it with them. If that was the case, then they should have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well. Huh? Why would they only take one of the 2 shots fired? Oh, right. Right, have you really thought this through? Going to have to penalize... oh, seriously? I guess the murderer had to find it. Murderer was cautious. That's why the murderer had to search for that bullet. Oh, so that was just big old red herring, that whole part. Okay, then. Murderer didn't need it. Why would the murderer spent the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. Had to take it. Had to take it? The murderer? What does that mean? You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But, the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? Well, for instance. For instance, what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer? The bullet hit the murderer? Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murder, the murderer themselves was shot, and they left with the second bullet still inside of them? Thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime. Yes, I guess that's how it would work, yes. But there's a problem with that. The other two people from that elevator, Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean the murderer came from outside, yes. Two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. Pistol discharges and the bullet. Bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Mr. Wright, you're truly most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it! No one involved in the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident? He's right, I can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick. Huh? I just thought of something. Really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. Must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. Yes. An unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's ever taken in his many years of prosecuting. What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock, but took it because he was injured? Which would mean, could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Karma. Oh man. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Uh-oh. Should I come out and say it now? Say it now. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? My hands are shaking. What? Von Karma. Von Karma? Silence. You mean the Von Karma? The prosecutor? The one standing right over there? Bah. You don't object? I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal from my injury from the incident? Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify. Ugh. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edgeworth. I know Von Karma, perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane. No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Wait, what does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere. But where? Tisk, tisk, tisk. Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? Yes. Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is, well, be the ballistic markings on the bullet, would it not? What exactly is that? Sorry. What? Seriously? Really not sure I managed to make it this far. Well, I don't know. And I can't save it, so... might be an edit. Check. Is it just this case file again? I don't know what else it could possibly be. Okay, I'll meet you back in a minute. Okay, I said, like, I can't prove it. So we'll see if that's what I should have chosen. It'd be impossible to find the doctor operate on Von Karma now. Even if Von Karma did undergo surgery. You need to finally come to your senses. You've realized the truth. You can't prove something that didn't happen. Nick, the court record. There must be something. The court record? What could be in there? There's no time. I better think on it as I go. Alright, Von Karma, I'll prove it. I'll even use evidence. Okay, so I have to prove this somehow anyway. Okay, so it's not... it's not either of those. Or wait, I didn't choose this, but... Or do I show this bullet? Did I show the wrong bullet? I'm not really sure what you want me to... Metal detector. Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery, leaving an evidence trail. It actually was the metal detector. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it's unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean. I do. There's a possibility the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible for all these years? Well, there's one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm gonna run this over you and see what we find. Uh-oh, look at him, he's sweating. I refuse. You refuse? But refusing this means you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you. Yeah, that's not really the type of thing you want to be refusing there, Von Karma. Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge, I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. Statute of limitation runs out in this case today. It was you that said we had to end it right here, right now. Ugh. Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Nick, what does this mean? I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. Get it? Because it's just like a bullet. Give it a shot. Oh hey, we found a bullet. Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma. You. It was you! I was afraid this would happen. And so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. What? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. But, Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It's Mr. Wright who must prove something here, not I. Mr. Wright, well, can you prove it? Can you prove the bullet in Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6? Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. That's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were close. 1 day away from freedom. But you see, I have proof. What? Who would have thought you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. This is the ballistic markings. That's a bullet? Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings. You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets. Then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol. In other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma, here we go. The bread and butter of these games. Von Karma, you idiot. If you didn't try to throw Edgeworth under the bus, you could have just gotten away with it. He didn't have to be convicted, and neither did you. You know, that's where the whole Von Karma, you know, comes full circle. I've heard that scream before. Wait, I know. Help, I can't breathe. Quiet. I said quiet, you're not making this any easier. Stop breathing my air. I'll stop you. Stop breathing my air! Warg! Von Karma's scream. It's that scream I heard in the elevator. 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you that screamed. Mr. Von Karma. Edgeworth! Only you would dare defy me! So it was you. Hey, buddy. You and your father are my curse. What a horrible night to have a curse. Oh my goodness. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. Smashed his head on them. It's not a wall, but basically. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. Wonder if we just sit here and let him do that for long enough if he'll knock himself out. Oh, I will bury you. I will bury you with my bare hands. Death. Death. 15 years earlier. I'm an attorney. Chief prosecutor. I'm sorry. Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth! It was a shock like none I'd ever known. Me? Penalized? It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went into the hall and fell my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, but nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. Same shot from the boat. Left-handed shot. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later he spoke through a medium blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator door? Judge. What? What are you doing? Do your job. Bring an end to this miserable charade. Now. End it. Very well. It appears that we have come to a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty. Hey, confetti, because Edgeworth is declared not guilty. Yay, not guilty. Yay. That is all. This court is adjourned. So is Von Karma guilty then? Or is Edgeworth just not guilty? Nick, we did it! Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick. Crushed. I gotta say, I'm impressed. Was pretty close, though. I was sure we had it. I know, I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory. So, it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right. Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. I know. Try thank you. I see. Thank you, Wright. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Sorry. I'm not good at this sort of thing. You got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. She's got you there. Whoop! Amazing, pal. You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month. But who cares? See, Mr. Edgeworth, you should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. I see. Whoop. I feel foolish. Don't worry, take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey, y'all. Lotta. Y'all were great in there. Thank you. Yo, Edgeworth, congrats. Thank y'all very much. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at you. You wouldn't stick your hand in the cookie jar even if there's no one there. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, huh? Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? Oh, I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick. Really? That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Huh? It's over, Nick. My life is over. Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick, I'm not long for this world. Huh? You don't look sick. It's Kiance. She's gonna live in Paris. Paris, Nick. She's leaving me behind. Should have seen that coming. Yo, Edgy. There you are. Yep. Here I am. Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift for me in celebration. Celebration? That's unusual for you. Harry Butts, you come along tonight too. My treat, pal. Huh? Thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? Right? I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right. Yeah, what's up? That envelope that Larry gave me, it's got money in it. Well, yeah. It's not that strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? Huh? What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. 38 exactly? Nick, wasn't that exactly the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? 38? No. No, Larry, it was you? What are you so surprised about, right? Huh? Larry was absent that day from school, right? That doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. What? Think back to that day 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored, so he came into school anyway. Then saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. Nah. Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right, you may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. I know, I know. Really, right? I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this sure is an unexpected turn of events, huh? Edgeworth. Huh? You should have told me. Now, Nick, it was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. There you have it. Ugh. Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did. Well, you've always been something of an insufferable emotionalist. Yeah, and you get worked up too easily, too. Death. The death sentence for both of you. Man, if I'd only known, I'd have been a prosecutor instead. Same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time, I thought I might have killed my own father. Thought I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth, want to switch right? Hey, y'all line up, I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time, let's go. And after that, dinner's on me. Detective Gumshoe took us out to the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom, even though Edgeworth himself was still in detention. So we just brought him takeout, did we? Wright & Co. Law Offices. Whoa. I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. Huh? Still only 5. Maybe I should go back to sleep. Hmm? What's this? A letter? Is it the letter D? Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium, in training, of course. Wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. Wanted to help you. But I couldn't. I was useless. So I decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. Goodbye? What time is it? Ah, the first trains for the mountains have already left. To the station. Maya, where are you? I don't see you here. I guess I'm too late. Hey! Nick. Maya. So, you're leaving? Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay? Objection! Wait. What? I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. Huh? On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister. Yes, only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped. Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick. But you were the one who stopped Von Karma, Maya. Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in a daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? Show Maya some evidence that you were up. Do I show her a picture of her mom? Huh? I guess I don't understand. Now that I think about it, I don't understand this evidence either. It's okay. You don't have to try and cheer me up. If you show her the right thing, it's like, oh, you're right, but I screwed it up. But one day I'll come back and be useful, I promise. I might have to go through that again for an achievement, I'm not sure. Maybe I had to show her the DL6 case file, because she did collect that. So this is it. See you soon, Maya. Thanks, Nick. So my story ends. Time to turn a new page. And say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins. The same old crazy cast of characters. Ha! Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur. Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim? Yes, Your Honor. Got a bad feeling about this. Are we getting a credit sequence? We're getting a credit sequence anyway. So we're not done, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Since we're doing... like... I'll just let the text scroll while I ramble a bit. Or not. Hung his head low and went right back outside. How much of a ramble am I going to be able to get off here? Kind of like he was embarrassed or something. Strange, huh? So there's still Case 5 for this trilogy pack. And I haven't 100% decided yet, but I might wait until I'm back streaming regularly again before I do Case 5. That's how I'm feeling about it. So I might do that. So it's very well possible for the next week I won't be uploading as much. But I might make a separate video about all of that jazz. Because I thought I'd be back to my regular schedule by now, but I'm not. So give it another couple of weeks. But if I'm still not back to my regular schedule, I'm gonna start streaming, but like earlier in the day. Because I miss it. And I'll have to work around it. I just prefer to stream at night. As you may have noticed over the years. We'll still get Case 5 under our belt, and then we still have Justice for All, which I've completely played through, but if this case was any indication, the way I game overed and didn't remember what Maya was supposed to be presented at the end. I don't remember that clearly. There's like bits and pieces. Like I remembered the whole Von Karma had the bullet inside of him. I remembered that much. That's pretty much the only thing I remembered going into this case. So we'll see how this next playthrough of Justice for All goes, as well as this Case 5 that I know absolutely nothing about. I imagine it'll be trickier than Case 4 was. So are we gonna get credits for Case 5 as well? How's that gonna work? I don't know. If that's what's gonna happen or not. Ooh, the Pink Princess is a hit. Nice. Yeah, don't be ruining any kids' dreams, Will Powers. Can I call you Max? So what else do I even have coming up? I do want to play through Nier Automata again on hard mode. I'll probably do that before I go to Justice for All. What else was I gonna play? I had a few things I wanted to play. Catherine, I was thinking about playing Catherine Full Body, which I might do that. Then once we get through those and Phoenix Wright, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I just don't know. I keep saying that I want to play more Nintendo games this year, but like, I don't know. Might not be till next year. Either way, there will be plenty of Nintendo games to be played. Because part of me just wants to play, like, some PS1 stuff again. It's been a while. When was the last time I played a PS1 game? I'm trying to remember. It's been a minute. Probably one I did this year that I'm just neglecting. Or like, at least the past year. I mean, technically with the Mega Man 8 shorts, that was a PS1 game that I did. Is that Gumshoe? Oh, it's confetti. It's the confetti. And Mia there in spirit. Uh-oh. Turnabout goodbyes. Rise from the ashes. Eh? Okay. Turnabout, rise from the ashes. I didn't mean to go into... Yeah, let's save our progress. Anyways, that was Case 4. Like I said, I'm probably just gonna wait to stream this case. Probably what I'll do. I'm thinking, like I said, I'm probably gonna stream less this coming week and maybe the following week. But after that, regardless of what my schedule is, I wanna get back to streaming again, like my regular hours, or at least make an attempt. So in any case, I want to thank you so very much for joining for this episode of Phoenix Wright. I'll see you for the next one, which I'm thinking will be live. I might change my mind, but probably not. Because now, like this one, because I game over it, I'm going to have to edit it, and it's going to take that much longer to upload. Doing like a 1 hour worth of like pre-recorded stuff, it's way more of a time sink than streaming for an hour, but anyways. That's neither here nor there. So don't forget the lard, and I'll see you again next time I see you. If not before then.